left a division that I thought was very competitive, probably the most competitive division in the National Football League, NFC South. And now embarking on the NFC West, it's the same thing. You look at, the 49ers, the shirt that you have on right there, signing Jimmy, I thought was a plus for those guys. You look at what the Rams are doing this past year, making it to the playoffs, trading for Peters. So everybody's evolving, everybody's getting better. But I feel like we're right there in the mix as well. Again, I said from day one, I don't really think this is a rebuild, it's a retool. The most important thing that we got to fill, and everybody knows, the quarterback position.
Hey, Coach, what kind of offense in terms of style do you want to run? West Coast, air raid? What's your thought?
Well, when you really look at offensive style, we want to be productive in number one in running the football. I know this is a pass-happy league, but as a defensive coordinator, defensive-minded coach, there's nothing more demoralizing to me than an offense running the ball. And I feel like we have one of the top running backs in the National Football League in David Johnson. And everything that we do is going to start up front on the offense and defensive line. We got a future Hall of Famer in Larry Fitzgerald. We just got to have somebody to throw the ball. So, again, establishing the run game, vertical passing game, being able to take the top off at times. So we're going to do exactly what it takes to win the game. I say this all the time. It's not really about having a scheme. It's about having a system. And when you have a system, you're going to adapt, to your personnel, most importantly, to everything that you're going to do each and every week. Say that again, I'm sorry.
Is it no longer notable the time an African-American coach is hired because of having other African-American coaches that do these jobs?
Well, I think the biggest thing is really try to look at the process of hiring the best guy, and hopefully at some point in time we can get to that point. But being here, I can definitely tell you it's truly a blessing. When you look around the league and you look at, Vance Joseph was just up here. You look at Hugh Jackson, okay, Mike Tomlin, you look at those guys, but most importantly, the ones that have come before you. Tony Dungy. I had a very fortunate opportunity to start my career under Lovie Smith, so looking to try to continue to do the same thing. Been a positive role model, most importantly, putting a productive product out on the field.
Steve, you had an opportunity to interview with somebody during the interview process. Why did you not?
Well, I think everything is a judgment call, and I felt like once again that I thought they were really going in another direction and what they were looking for, and most importantly, I think time is valuable, and I didn't want to waste it.
Steve, what makes you confident that the Cardinals are in the mix in the NFC West? When you don't have a quarterback, the offensive line's in a little bit of a jumble.
Well, I think really you have to really look at our roster, and I think you look at the things that happened last year with all the injuries that we had, and still going 8-8. I think it's a positive. Those guys are going to be back. Again, we're going to be aggressive in our approach and getting a quarterback, most importantly, trying to improve certain areas, particularly the offensive line. So I don't think we're far off. I think I put together a great coaching staff, guys that are great teachers, good communicators, and guys that are going to develop the back end of the roster. And that's the most important thing moving forward. In the National Football League, to me, it's your back end of the roster. And I've had a history of doing that with guys over my career, Chicago, San Diego, as well as, Carolina. You look at a fifth-round draft pick like Josh Norman, turning that guy into an all-pro player. So those are things that we're going to do. Ray Brown, outstanding coach, done a tremendous job in Carolina with that offensive line. He's going to do the same thing in Arizona.
Coach, no quarterbacks at all on the roster. Does that make you prioritize saying, well, we need to have some veteran presence in here?
Again, we're going to look at every option. And I think having a guy with experience is a plus. And then also bringing a young guy in that you can, really grow underneath him. So we're looking at every option right now, and we're going to put the best fit that's going to help the Arizona Cardinals win football games.
When you talk about, well, you want to run the ball, you run first, you want a quarterback who fits that. How do you tell what quarterback fits that? Most quarterbacks, passing games.
Well, of course, again, as you look at their attributes and whatnot and what they're doing, of course, this is a pass-happy league. You look at the college game, you're talking about 60, 70 points. Beyond all that, being the ability to pass the football, to be accurate, and being able to make every throw is my philosophy as a head coach. I believe in establishing the run, and that's what we're going to do.
What do you think about luxury, Steve? What do you think about, what are your early impressions of this year's draft class?
Again, I'm not going to go into detail about actual, personnel. I think it's a great class. I think all those guys are very talented. I think they bring different things to the table. They love to compete. That's the one thing I see with all of them. And again, we just got to find the right fit for us.
Coach, I know you don't want to go into personnel, but you talked about looking players you have coming back. At the wide receiver position, who are you guys excited about their need for the 31st jersey?
Well, we have some good guys on the roster right now. You know, a lot of those guys are unrestricted free agents again, so I'm not going to indulge in that. It's wide open and trying to, again, improve the back end of your roster. It's good to have Larry out there, a leader on the field as well as off field, a voice in that locker room that's going to be an extension of the coaching staff. So very excited about that. And again, we're in the process right now of trying to create and formulate a plan of getting the right guys on the roster.
Steve, have you thought about how Tyrann Mathieu could fit into your style of defense? How you would use him?
Well, I think the biggest thing is when you look at the skill set that he has, I think he can do so much. What I mean by that, he can cover, he can blitz. You know, when you look at the things we've done in the past with Carolina, he fits right into that mode. Again, having a system is not really, again, taking your personnel and adjusting with those guys. So I like his skill set. And again, moving forward, see exactly how he fits into the 2018 Arizona Cardinals.
Steve, Kurt Washington's going to be filling your footsteps in Carolina as a coordinator.
Oh, Eric Washington would do a tremendous job. You know, a good friend of mine, very intelligent, smart guy, understands the game, and most importantly, he's a leader. And I think he's going to do a tremendous job and probably do even better than what I did. So I'm excited for him. Ron and I, again, are real close friends, a tremendous springboard for me, someone that I definitely consider a mentor and a close friend. I've taken a lot from him, but most importantly is the process of building relationships. I think that's the most important thing throughout this process, even with players and coaches. I think you have to really get out of your office. You have to go down there and really get around the guys, get to know them off the field, understand exactly what's going on in their lives so you can be able to make them a better player on the field. What I mean by aggressive right here is when free agency starts, we're going to look to try to get the best one, and then once again,
it's the draft.
Aggressive, not sitting back. And being here at the combine, part of that. Really defer to you on some of those topics, but I'm more than glad to open it up to you as we get started. Let's talk with Bernie first, and at that spot, I really love to feature our running backs, not just in the we coach with him, so he's been a terrific fit for us, led. And we're excited about what he can bring to our offense. He's got great diversity in different styles, and we expect him to have, a role on teams as well. So as far as Greg Knapp goes, challenge to find and best fit for Matt and for Sar, and that kind of unconditional support that all the assistant coaches provide. Working with Peyton in that system, so he's got a lot of experience in the system. Houston, Gary, and Kyle, and then into our system as well. So some of that crossover has been really. I've loved that he's had through our seasons. He's gone through tape, and this part of the off season. And we can probably kind of count the third down and ones, the fourth and ones, and some of the times even in the low red zone in some areas we're going to run it. They know we're going to run it, and we're going to get it anyway. Those kind of important, got to have it plays. So as we go through that, some of it will be scheme led, and we're sure looking to add to the mix on some guys who almost would have a unique role just for that. And we're looking under every option for that. I can also remember all the way back to Bill Walsh, kind of telling us that story.
from, 17, 18 years ago. I remember that message, my first time in the NFL, about the uniqueness a player can have and featuring him in that role. So when you're using the term power, I know where you're coming from to say, is there other guys that we can pass rusher you can put into a specific spot on third down? Those are all part of our job as coaches, to find those guys and put them in the best spot. So you know us, man, we love versatility. And if a guy can do more than one job, I think that's a really...
I know that
I've had a chance to